What's going on, guys? Dee, Hunter Lu, and this is YoBroKO. We give you guys the best content on UFC all day, every day. And in today's video, we have a very special one. We got a fight breakdown of the IRL card coming up, 299. Marlon Chitovera taking on the champ of the bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley. And if you like this kind of content, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. You guys subscribe. You guys share. And you already know what else to do, man. Keep watching. Hunter Lu, man, what is going on, brother? How are you feeling today, and how are you feeling about this card?
I'm feeling great. I got my vest on. We got a stack card this weekend, and I don't think I need to say too much. Hit the music.
Evenly matched are these two men.
Oh! It's Junior Barbosa! Oh! Holy crap, man. Oh! Alright, guys, so as you can see, we're at a bit of a different scenery. It's kind of a scenery change for you guys to what you guys are used to. You're used to watching us over on twitch.tv/YoBroKO. While we live stream every Wednesday, Saturday, 6 p.m. So if you guys are interested in watching us, me and Hunter Lu, fight live, UFC 5, commentate, you guys make sure you tune into that. But, as I mentioned, we're in a different scenery. Hunter Lu is clearly on a chat with me right now. So, yeah, man, I mean, I guess to start this off, we got a freaking heated rivalry between Sean O'Malley and Marlon Chitovera. It seems like to me, Lou, Chito is a bit more calm in this fight against each other. But I mean, we'll really see once they get into the cage. But yeah, I'm not really gonna say too much to start this. I guess I'll pass it over to Hunter Lu. This guy's a freaking research whiz. He does a lot of freaking research to make sure he has the best information out for you guys. To make sure he gives you guys the best insight on, what's coming up for these fights and different things like that. So I'll just pass it over to you, Lou. What do you think about, what's the first fight on this card, I guess, that, really catches your eye and that really you want to talk about,
Well, I will mention this main event is going to be absolutely electric, man. The rematch that I think most of us fans who follow Sean O'Malley are really excited for. And yeah, Saturday night's going to be super awesome. But I'm a huge fan, and having that said, the first fight that catches my eye, this whole card is stacked, man.
Yeah, top to bottom.
And two well-known flyweights. The first fight of the whole card, man. JoJo Wood versus Marina Moroz. Marina Moroz, someone who has a very special place in my heart in the universe mode. If you have not seen, she's knocking everybody out left, right. Anyways, this is going to be a super fun fight, and I think this fight alone, sets the tone for the rest of the card, and it's going to be a fun one in that flyweight division that Alexa Grasso reigns atop.
Robelis Despain. I'm not sure exactly how to say that, but he's taking on a guy in Josh Parisian, who he is a veteran. Robelis is making his debut, and if you guys take a look just for a second before Hunter Lu gets into this, take a look at the mountain of a man that this guy is. 6'7", Olympic gold medalist in Taekwondo. That's at the heavyweight division. That's gonna be crazy. Hunter Lu, what do you got on that, brother?
He's making headlines because of how big he is. He has a longer reach than John Jones. And a 6'7" guy who. Gold medalist in Taekwondo. I mean, what's not to be excited about? If you haven't seen some of this guy's highlights, I definitely suggest that you do, because you're going to want to see his fight Saturday night.
I mean, take a look at his freaking reach advantage, dude. 87-inch reach. Come on.
And I've got to be honest, D, this is one of those Parisian is getting fed to the sharks, man. I got to be honest.
True.
From watching this guy's highlights, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a first-round finish early.
And right after that debut of a monster, we have a guy that, when you turn on the TV, you kind of keep your eyes on him. He does very fancy stuff, does crazy flips and different kind of, capoeira style kicks. From Brazil, Michel Pereira taking on Michael. I'm not even going to try his last name. I know he's from Poland, and I know he's got power in his hands. That one, I mean, anytime I see Michel Pereira go into the octagon, it's one to watch. So that one's definitely going to be one I'm keeping an eye on.
Yeah, and this one here, D, I just wanted to bring up Ion Cutelaba, obviously a guy who was probably historically known for his fights against Magomed Ankalaev when he got absolutely... yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, a guy who really hasn't, found his way in this light heavyweight division, and a guy who has extreme power. So just like Pereira, I'm interested to see, how he does on this card to end these early prelims.
Yeah, and then to start off the first match for the prelims, the regular prelims, not early prelims, we got the veteran Pedro Munoz taking on another guy that I feel like I kind of seen him a lot recently in the UFC, in Kyler Phillips. I know he's a guy that, you know, he brings it all. I know he's got good leg kicks, but the guy across from him, and Pedro Munoz, is definitely another guy that he's got some serious leg kicks as well. Lou, what do you think about that matchup, and who do you think has the advantage in that matchup?
Munoz, a savvy veteran, man, who in later in his career he still looked pretty good. I think in his last fight it was against Sugar. I could be mistaken, but it was a little bit ago. But yeah, like I said, a savvy veteran who hasn't really slowed down, if I'm being completely honest. Obviously, he's the number 13th ranked guy. I wish I knew more about Kyler Phillips, but just based off the knowledge that I have, I think Munoz is most likely going to get this done.
All right, guys, and in this next one, we have Mateusz Gamrot taking on the legend RDA. Obviously, as you guys can see, RDA coming off of his last performance with a loss, and then Gamrot coming off with a win. This is a guy here, in my opinion, Lou, that he can really set himself up to be in a very great spot in this lightweight division with a win over RDA. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, when I look at it on paper, I think obviously RDA, world-class jiu-jitsu guy, but I think it's more of a striker versus grappler. Mateusz in the past, you know, shown his dominance on the ground when he wrestles and he's able to get it to the ground. RDA, a guy who I believe is 39, maybe coming into 40, so in the tail end of his career as well. But another guy who hasn't slowed down at all. On paper, I've got to give it to Gamrot. A lot of people think that Gamrot is, you know, not getting what he deserves as far as opportunities. You know, this guy has beat some of the best. Ran into a brick wall with Beneil Dariush in a close fight. But I mean, I've got to be honest. I think Gamrot is he's gonna develop the right game plan and do what he has to do to get the win.
We've seen what this guy can do against guys like Arman Tsarukyan. If you guys don't like grappling and you think grappling is boring, do yourselves a favor, go watch the matchup between Mateusz Gamrot and Arman Tsarukyan, and I guarantee you grappling will be changed, at least in your mind, when it comes to being boring. And in this next one, man, we have Caitlin, formerly known as Chukagian, but now known as Sermonara, after getting married, taking on Macy Barber. First and foremost, I want to give me and Hunter Lu want to give all of our condolences to Caitlin. Unfortunate news, what's happened to you before, taking this fight. So all of our love and support goes out to you leading up to this matchup against, honestly, Lou, a woman that, you know, she wants it, man. She's hungry. She's young, and she's gonna be coming out here ready to bang.
Yeah, Macy Barber was, you know, widely known as the next big thing in women's MMA. Man, she got humbled a couple times, and she got set back by some injuries. But I think she's on a revenge tour, and a win against Sermonara is gonna be huge for her. A woman that's been on top of the division for as long as she is. You know, kind of a gatekeeper. Unfortunately, it's tough to admit, but definitely a gatekeeper. Just hasn't been able to break through in that title. But definitely one of the best in that 125 division. And I think Macy Barber, super hungrier than ever. And with this opportunity, I think she'll take advantage of it. But Sermonara, one of the best, man.
And for this one, I already know Hunter Lu is ecstatic to see this matchup here. And wow, it's in the prelims. That's how you know this card is stacked. We have Curtis Razor Blades taking on Jailton Almeida, and Hunter Lu. The floor is all yours, my brother.
Hey, man, I mean, the featured bout of the prelims of the night, really, I mean, this is an absolute treat. Two guys who are amazing wrestlers. There's so much that I can say about this. Curtis Blades, I think more than ever, needs to get a huge statement victory here. Recent outcomes that he's had, I think he's going to need a big statement here. But against the guy in Jailton Almeida, who is looking like one of the best prospects right now. And I think with a huge win for himself, it's going to just cement him as a guy who may be one fight away from a title shot, especially doing it the way that he can. I mean, this guy's grappling, D, is just world class. He holds guys down, and he beats them up, and he just does not let them move. But Razor Blades, man, we know that wrestling is no joke. I would like to hear what you think about this.
Honestly, Lou, when I look at this matchup and I see, like, you know, I know that Almeida has a very, very heavy grappling style, as you mentioned, but Curtis freaking Blades can wrestle. And as his career has gone on, he hasn't really relied so much on the wrestling. So I'm interested to see, he's going to be put in positions in this matchup for sure that he's going to have to use his wrestling. And I'm interested to see if, as he's moved on, if he's going to use it more, who will have the advantage on the ground, and then once they get back up to the feet, if they're able to get back up to the feet, who's going to have the advantage when it comes to the striking game. So that one's going to be a fun one, and as always, the heavyweight matchups are always bangers. Moving right on. And starting off the main card, man, we got Petr Yan taking on Sang Yadong. This matchup is going to be no joke. Up until this point in Petr Yan's career, I think, to me, I still look at Petr as a complete fighter. He can grapple, he can wrestle, he can strike, he has great submission skills. Honestly, this dude has great boxing, great kickboxing. I don't know what Petr Yan doesn't have. He's pretty much a fighter's fighter. And then I look at a guy, Sang Yadong, beautiful boxing. We seen him use great grappling in his last matchup. Hunter Lu, man, what's your take on this matchup? And yeah, how do you foresee this match taking place?
This, I think, is a fight that is super, super slept on. It could easily be a main event, man. Petr Yan, I think you said it pretty well. This dude is only 30 years old, guys. For most of you fans, may have seen him as a champion. He was a champion at 27 and still really in the prime of his career. Has had some unfortunate luck, with the knee against Aljo, losing the rematch to some flaws. Really, in his most recent fights, you could argue that he's won all but one. All but the Marab fight were extremely close, you know what I mean? And as for Sang Yadong, hungry, man. That really the only guy that I think is really deserving of a fight against the likes of Petr Yan. Sang Yadong dominating Ricky Simon in his last fight. I mean, just showed the levels clearly and showed why he's still one of the best. And I think with a big statement win here, it's going to be huge for his career moving forward. But Petr Yan, I think he's hungrier than ever to show why he still remains atop the bantamweight division. All right, and seeing as this is one of Dana D's favorite fighters in the UFC right now, we've got Durinho Gilbert Burns taking on Jack Della Maddalena. There's a lot that I could say about this fight, but all I really gotta say, old versus new. Durinho, I think he's looking to make a statement. Della, the same thing. I want to hear what you think, D.
I think that if you're a UFC fan, you got to be a Gilbert Burns fan. And when you take a look at what the guy he's fighting, Jack Della Maddalena, has done up until this point, you got to be a fan of him as well. Hunters for finishes, really. And yeah, man, I'm super excited for this. Like Lou said, it's gonna be a pretty much either a passing of the torch moment, or it's gonna be a veteran showing why he still belongs in this stacked welterweight division. Yeah, man, that's gonna be a super fun one, man, for sure. And the highly anticipated debut of Michael Venom Page. I'm not gonna say much because these guys' resumes speak for themselves. Kevin Holland is not at the position he's at so far in his career for nothing. Every time he comes out, it's an interesting matchup. Talks the smack. And as for Michael Venom Page, man, this guy, look at his highlight reel when you get a chance. You're definitely gonna appreciate that. But Hunter Lu, man, what do you think about this matchup, and what do you think about the debut of Michael Venom Page?
Well, what I will say is that I don't think there's much, as a fan, I don't think there's much to say. I think this is going to be fight of the night easily. Both of these guys are going to just look to put each other's lights out and give the fans a show. I will acknowledge, though, Kevin Holland is 3-3 in his last 6 fights and has suffered some unfortunate ends, to some of the more highly staked fights. But this dude, every time he comes into the octagon, puts on a show and gives the fans exactly what they want to see. Against the guy in Michael Venom Page, who is 36 years old, sort of at the tail end of his career, only 2 losses in his professional career, but his highlight reel really speaks for itself, as you mentioned. I'm super excited to see him fight live for the first time ever. But, as I said, I think this one is going to be, fight of the night quite easily.
And as we move into this co-main event of the evening, Dustin Poirier taking on Benoit Saint-Denis. Dustin Poirier, a guy that, if you don't put him out, he's going to end up coming back and taking you out. We've seen that in the Michael Chandler fight. And then we look at the guy he's facing in Benoit Saint-Denis, and some people still don't know who this guy Benoit Saint-Denis is, Lou. I think we should shed some light on this guy and let them know why he's in this position that he's in, facing a guy like Dustin Poirier.
Well, I gotta be honest and say, I don't know this guy's whole resume, but this dude is on a 5-fight finishing streak. If you missed his last fight against Matt Favola, which, by the way, Dana D was in live attendance for, That was an absolutely historic finish. I mean, it was insane. It was super insane. And he's one of these, up and comers from France that are just continuing to make noise and continuing to make their mark in the UFC. And I've got to be honest, when I look at this fight, Dustin Poirier, one of the best to ever do it at lightweight, and even in the UFC, I think of this reminds me of Chandler versus Poirier. But Benoit is a much more poised, calculated fighter who hits extremely hard and is, I think, much better as far as grappling on the ground. But, I mean, this is going to be a super fun fight, man. I'm super glad it's 5 rounds as well.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, this guy Benoit Saint Denis is in the French Special Forces. He's been fighting in UFC, or he's been training MMA for 4 years. And this guy's fighting a guy like Dustin Poirier in his 6 fights in the UFC, and already fighting Dustin Poirier, training for 4 years in MMA. That's awesome to say the least. But yeah, that's gonna be a great one. And Hunter Lu, great job in breaking that down, brother. Then we get to the fight with the two men whom this card was built: Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera. As I look at these guys, Lou, I honestly didn't realize that Chito had 8 losses, man. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't realize that. But hey, I mean, he's here today. He's fighting for the championship on Saturday. And yeah, it took a while for him to get there finally, but he fights a guy that he already has a win over. What do you think about that, Lou?
Well, first, I want to point out that anybody in the top 15 is more than capable of fighting for a belt if they show up on that singular night and perform to their best abilities. So, with all this, don't get me wrong, I do believe that there was other people, and there is times where other people definitely deserve their shots. But this guy is here for a reason, man. This guy is an absolute killer. Sugar said it himself. He's never got finished. He's never got knocked down. I don't think he's ever dropped a squirt of blood, And looking at this fight, it makes me excited, Sugar also mentioned this is the biggest fight as far as pay-per-views, people want to see this fight. This is his guy's singular loss in his career. Both of these guys are extremely calculated. I think Chito is much more patient and more of an assassin, but man, Sugar, the way he finds chins and the way he just slick accuracy, precision it's a beauty to watch. So I'm really excited for this fight. D, what do you got?
Honestly, man, you said that perfectly. Sugar finds chins, but Chito's been in the octagon with him, and he's got the better. He's got the better previously, Lou. So I mean, you got to know that Sugar Sean is going to be coming into this matchup. Yes, he's the champion, but he's going to be coming into this matchup kind of with the chip on his shoulder because he has something to prove here, having a loss. His only loss against this guy that he's coming up to face here. All right, guys, and for to pretty much wrap up this video, me and Hunter Lu are gonna go up from where we are, starting here at Curtis Blaydes versus Jailton Almeida, and we're just pretty much gonna tell you guys how we think the match is gonna go, who we think is gonna win, and yeah, we're gonna pretty much predict what we think is gonna happen for this first matchup. Lou, I'll let you start it off. What do you think is gonna happen here in this one, and how do you think it's gonna get done, man?
Jailton Almeida makes some tap. Triangle sub, arm triangle that is. I'm gonna say first round.
I love it. I do think Curtis Blaydes is gonna get this one done because I do think that the striking of Curtis Blaydes plays the difference maker in this matchup, and I think he's got some pretty good wrestling, man. So I think he's gonna be able to get back up on his feet. And in this next one, honestly, I can't vote against, or I can't pick against Petr Yan. Although Song Yadong is a great up-and-coming, Chinese fighter with great boxing, I just can't, man. Petr Yan is just, in my opinion, he's one of the best bantamweights in the world, if not fighter in the world, Had some unfortunate losses to a guy that, pretty much is going to get a title shot next in Merab, as Lou mentioned earlier. But, yeah, man, I got Petr Yan. He's going to get a finish. I say second round TKO.
Wow, D. I mean, just to backpack off that, Big E, I hope you watch this video, man. I know Peter's your guy, but Song Yadong's knocking him out spark in the third round.
Oh, honestly, Lou, shoot, I really don't know when it comes to these guys, Jack Della Maddalena he's a guy that wants it. He's hungry. He's got nasty leg kicks, nasty boxing, and honestly, I guess I'll say Jack Della Maddalena, and I think Gilbert Burns is going to be able to take him down, but once he takes him down, he's not going to be able to hold him down. Jack may be able to reverse the position, finish him on the ground with some ground and pound. I'll say third round TKO on the ground and pound for Jack Della Maddalena.
I really love the confidence backing up your guy, but I've got to go with Gilbert Burns by decision in this one. I think the veteran presence is just going to be too much, but I do think that JDM is tough as nails, so he won't get finished. And I think, as you said, he's good enough on the ground to where he could scramble out of vulnerable spots. But I think Gilbert gets it by decision.
And Lou, man, I mean, in the striking matchup, I mean, at least I think it's going to be a striking matchup. We know Kevin Big Mouth Holland has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but you got to think, you know, he made that agreement with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I wonder if he made that same agreement with Michael Venom Page. If so, Lou, who do you think has this matchup if this fight stays on the feet?
I know this man Kevin Holland's power, but I'm confident in this pick. MVP is gonna shock him, and he's gonna surprise all of us when he lands a wheel kick, a flying knee. I don't know, but something amazing, and he's gonna put Kevin Holland out cold in the second round as well.
Yeah, I mean, as honestly, this is honestly a pick'em fight for me, Lou.
Yeah.
This could really go either way. I think if Holland decides to stay on the feet, MVP is gonna pick him apart. I do think if he takes him down and starts working on his jiu-jitsu, and he's also got great ground and pound, if he uses that, I think he'll have the advantage. But if the fight stays on the feet, Michael Venom Page is gonna tear him up. If it goes to the ground, I got Kevin Holland. So it's really up to the fighters. Let's see where that fight ends, and let's see how that fight ends. And Lou, the co-main event of the evening, man, Dustin Poirier versus BSD. What do you got?
Well, DP brother, if you someday somehow come across this video, I got nothing but love from you, Diamond, the champion of the universe mode in the lightweight division. I love everything you've done, everything you do in your career. And for that reason, you know, I've got to say that it's going to win by knockout, 4th round. I got to go with BSD, man. His power is just way too much. And I think this dude is coming into his prime. 28 years old, a French absolute stud. To your point, this dude is in the special forces in the French military. So, I mean, I think his heart is just unlike any other. And Dustin coming off that crazy knockout loss, his chin is going to get caught.
All I got to say is one thing. Dustin the Diamond Poirier gets it done via knockout in the 3rd round. That's who I got. Dustin Poirier. Love your hot sauce. If you guys missed it, I had to take a shot of hot sauce after taking a loss in the universe mode after Hunter Lu defended his vest. But love the hot sauce. I got Dustin Poirier getting the finish in the 3rd round. I think his pressure is gonna be too much for the Frenchman, and yeah, man, I think he gets it done in the 3rd. And Lou, man, this main event of the evening, what everyone around the world is waiting for to watch on this night. I mean, honestly, who do you got in this matchup, and how do you think they're gonna get it done?
My prediction is Chito will finish him. It'll either be by TKO or sub.
Yeah, I mean,
4th round.
4th round, okay. Fourth round submission or TKO, says Hunter Lu. And in my opinion, man, yeah, I think I also think Chito's gonna get it done. You know, I feel like O'Malley, with the only loss of his career coming to Chito, I think he's gonna be, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like Sugar's like one of these guys that he really wants to put on a show for the fans, and he just really wants to prove himself. So I think he's gonna come into this fight wanting to prove himself. You know, not really having to because he's the champ, you know what I mean? I feel like he's going to come into this fight, you know, try to gain the respect of Chito, and he's going to come out and just, you know, get a little bit overzealous. Maybe he'll land a few strikes on Chito. Maybe he'll land clean. I think he's going to get a little overzealous, and as the rounds go on, Chito gets stronger. So I think Chito Vera gets it done within 3 rounds, if not the 3rd round. Yeah, I give it to Chito Vera, yeah. By TKO or knockout, really don't matter. So yeah, guys, that was the UFC 299 breakdown from yours truly, Dana D and Hunter Lu. We had a blast doing this for you guys. You guys can look forward to having more of these. We're definitely gonna put a fight breakdown for UFC 300. So keep an eye out for that one. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, favorite, all that stuff. And make sure you guys go watch this UFC 299 event, man. It's going to be a freaking banger. As you guys seen, we broke it all down for you guys. Hunter Lu with the great... This dude's like a freaking analyst or something. You know what I mean? Dude does his research. Then he comes out here, drops the gems on you guys. And yeah, man, we had a great time doing this video. Definitely look out for more of these videos we're going to make just like this. And Hunter Lu, it's been a pleasure, my man. Do you have anything you want to say before we head out?
Hey, Saturday's going to be a phenomenal night. We got a big event coming up in the UNIVERSEMODE. Follow all our socials to find out what exactly it is. We'll leave it in the description. Hope you guys are always well. You know, it's always a blessing to do what we do. And Saturday night, I'll see you there.
One more sleep! But as always, man, this has been YoBroKO. And we out, man. Peace.